episode number 35 of Deadwood Tobacco Company Blowin Smoke Podcast. I am your humble host, Eye Candy Randy. Joining me today is Mr. Wild Bill.
Hello today.
And then behind the board, mixing and mastering, is Preachers. Say hello, Ethan.
Greetings.
We are in our podcast studio. We're doing this in the morning. It's a little bit early. Normally we kind of do these at the end of the day, so kind of sleepy-eyed at this point. Got some fun stuff coming up. We're going to talk a little bit about the Deadwood Jam. We're going to talk about Crowned Heads. Miguel will be here for the Deadwood Jam as well. We'll also talk about some live music we have coming up and a little bit of a revamp of this very podcast. We've had a few meetings, and we've got some ideas how we can improve it for you, our viewers and listeners, including adding some contesting. You can win some fun stuff, a little bit more interaction, and just a few other tweaks here or there. We'll get to those down the road. But right now, we're going to start off where we always start off with, what are we smoking? Bill, we'll start with you.
Mil Diaz, Habano, Ecuador. Beautiful, a little salty, as my boy Ethan will say, chalky, but that's okay. Definitely been up for several hours, so this is one that I can put on my palate at 10:45 in the morning.
Very good. And Ethan?
I am smoking Aramis from Tom Ozinger.
Tim.
Tim.
Is that how you say the name?
Tim
Ozinger.
Ozinger. He his passion, isn't just cigars. It was really, he wanted to do comedy.
Really?
Yep. True fact. You can look that up over social media back in the day.
Well, maybe we'll just put a feeler out and see if he'll come do like 15 minutes on the stage.
You never know.
We'll give it a shot. And since we are featuring Crowned Head products, I am having the 4 Kicks Limited Mule Kick 2023 PCA with an Ecuadorian Sumatra wrapper, Dominican filler binders. A little dark for me this time of day, but I wanted to give it a shot because it's relatively new into our humidor, and I hadn't had one yet. So medium. It's coming a little medium full. I've got to have it with my coffee right now, so I'm probably getting a little of that effect on there. But delicious stick. You can grab them right inside the humidor. I think we got like 4 or 5 boxes left, right, Bill?
Yep. Here's a question for you.
Fire away.
Who did Tim Ozinger employ that he now works with?
Employee who now he works with. Was he with CAO at one point?
He is CAO. He's the son.
Very good. See? I knew it was out there somewhere.
So if Miguel worked at CAO, right? He was a salesman, won national salesman twice a year in a row. But also, who else on this team of Crowned Heads worked under Tim Ozinger, but now works with Tim Ozinger?
Got me.
John Huber.
Really?
Yep, John Huber did a lot of the marketing, boxing, and some other things there underneath CAO. Started out in shipping, worked his way up. And now he works with Tim, and Crowned Heads pushes out the Ozinger, Bocephus, Aramis, and Pycynthius for Ozinger family.
So CEO was originally Tim.
It was his dad. His dad made pipes, worked for DuPont, right? And his dad's an engineer, loved pipes, so he started making Meerschaum pipes.
Gotcha.
And then they came into cigars. And at that point, they had some very great marketing colors: blues, greens, soccer, yellows, nice wood boxes that look like a dresser drawer. They had a lot of great sticks coming out. A beautiful Maduro, a beautiful Cameroon back in the day, and they did really well. And then they had that opportunity where they could make family money, and they sold the company to General Cigar. And that's when Miguel left and went down his road for small family manufacturers, which is the style he likes to work for, and help them grow. And now you got John Huber, who owns his own company.
But Tim's been out of the industry for quite some time.
Yeah. He's been out of the industry. He's done some stand-up comedy, things like that.
Very nice. And that's one thing that you may not know about the humidor when you come in here. As you come in the main door, if you go to the right-hand side, there is a rather large selection of Crowned Heads products. Now, you may not know it because they're all, like you said, not all of them, but many of them are smaller boutiques. We were just kind of going through before we started some of the lines that we have in here. Of course, Bill's Smoking the Mil Diaz. There's the Mas Igneas in there, having the 4 Kicks, Mule Kick. And how many lines do you think are in there from Crowned Heads, Bill? What else are we...
Every one they make now. Now, we also have some of the old brands that they partnered with a different manufacturer that is no longer a partnership. So we're getting through some of their old brands that they used to carry. But what they're doing now is more of Mil Diaz, the Bocephus lines, the Aramis lines. Brain fart now. La Impernosa, Las Calaveras. What else is up on that wall? You already named the other two.
Yeah. Do they have? They also have the shot, the little Juarez.
Juarez, yeah.
Yep.
That's coming back in.
Very good. Yeah,
that's on order. Miguel's got that coming.
That is a potent little stick. If you're looking for something big and meaty in a small package, we'll leave that right where it is. You are going to get yourself a shot from Juarez.
Are you saying it's like an M80?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay.
So we're going to talk a little bit about upcoming stuff here. This is a podcast we've had, first one kind of at the end of summer. We're doing this right after Labor Day, and it was a very, very busy summer. We just came off, of course, Rally, and then that was followed by Cool Deadwood Nights. We've got plenty more events coming up. Deadwood Jam, Oktoberfest, Deadweird, things like that still in the fourth quarter of the year. But quickly, Bill, what did you think about the first summer at the new space at 715 Main?
Some things didn't meet expectations. Other things blew out expectations. Mm-hmm. The non-smoker really blew out expectations.
As far as seeing new faces in here, because we do have the ventilation, a lot more room, and
staying and drinking beer versus staying, drinking beer, and a cigar. So the non-smoker would come in with a couple buddies, and they'd be like, all right, dude, I'm out, let's go. But now they're staying like, this place is fine. I'll get another beer. What I thought would be more would be cigar sales. Because what has also increased was our swag. Mm-hmm. So our hats, our shirts, our T-shirts, our cutters, our lighters, anything with the logo is up through the roof. Cigars have maintained, which is a big portion of it, but I thought we would see a little bit more increase on the cigars.
And what do you attribute that to? I mean, if you read the research, it says that cigar smokers are roughly 10% of the population on the high side. So if you are an avid cigar smoker and you enjoy the lifestyle, then obviously you'll be visiting the shop. How do we think about growing that percentage and getting a new smoker to start enjoying the lifestyle?
Well, when you get a non-smoker into a shop that's predominantly built around cigars and they're enjoying the atmosphere, you already have the seed planted, right? They're enjoying it. So now you just talk to them in a normal thing. Yeah, I don't like smoking. That's great. No problem. I used to be like that. And then at some point in time, after they come back because they like the atmosphere, they're going to end up asking about a cigar because they're going to smell something.
Sure.
Maybe it's the Tatiana Groovy Blue because it's great bubblish and it reminds them of T-ball or something. Mm-hmm. And they're like, hey, I probably could do that.
Sure.
And then they jump onto that, and then they're like, well, what's that? Well, this is this is that. That we can get more of because we have more of them coming in, which will increase the 10%. Because you're right, when you look at all the events in town, we're only snagging 10%. Yeah, it's a cool atmosphere. You can drink, got live music. But ultimately, if you're not really into a cigar, are you going to hang here or are you going to hang at Saloon Number 10?
Sure. And I think you mentioned it a little bit, the other events that we have going on with the live music and our hard goods, lighters, cutters, things like that have our logo, hats, T-shirts, brand new flannels, jackets. If you hadn't noticed today, it was like 55 degrees when we had our meeting this morning. We're coming into that season as well. I think that's a good sign that people are embracing the DTC brand outside of just the actual cigars.
Yeah, correct. That's is a positive from this new building that we're in.
And I've noticed because as the shop is set up from one of our registers, our primary register, you can see right out the front door. And we typically have it open, wide open, so you can, smell as you walk by. We've had lots and lots of people. You can watch them. It's like clockwork. They start coming through the doorway. They turn around. They smell it. Like, oh, come in. I can't tell you how many times I've heard, oh, this reminds me of my grandpa's house or my uncle's cabin or something like that. There's definitely the allure of the aroma that brings people back to someone in their life who was a cigar or a pipe smoker.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Pipe smoking, right? That's another genre that's been growing very strong at the old shop for us. But over here, it seems to be more. We're selling, just on corncob pipes alone. Mm-hmm. Forget Peterson Savinelli. The fact that we're ordering way more corncobs means we're turning more Peterson Savinellis.
Exactly. And if you're not familiar, we've got these they're about $10, little corncob pipes, perfectly good little smoke, great for someone who wants to learn and wants to start pipe smoking. And of course, we have all of our blends, and we've got all of the great pipe tobacco up in the shelves, and it's quite an experience. And if you are interested in that, I would highly recommend you come down here and ask for the kid. The nerd. The kid is all about the pipes, and he will certainly get you set up. And it's been a segment that I knew nothing about. Before I was on the team, I was a regular down at the old shop and experimenting with cigars. I've probably only been smoking about 4 years, semi-regularly. Still have a ton to learn, but pipes are still, they're not a mystery, but they're definitely something that takes a lot of patience and investigation. It's like anything it's like fine wine or whiskey. You find what you're looking for, and you can always expand your palate to new things.
What day, what event was it that we had Joe Fabian from Low DC Pipes? Was that Wild Bill Days?
Yes, correct. Yep.
And he sold something like 25 or 30 pipes over the course of
a day and a half.
Yeah, It's crazy.
Yep.
And we actually sold in 1 week period 79 pipes. He shipped in 79 pipes.
That was the number of the week.
That's what we sold.
That's incredible.
All of them, because I had to order 18 more. The only thing we shipped back was some tampers and some leather goods that we wouldn't be able to move.
And he sold the standard stuff, but it's not like the high-end stuff sat around. Those moved as well.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. And that's one of the things. If you come in, we've got the little affordable corncob pipe, but we have genuinely top of the line without blowing the budget pipes for just about everybody.
Yep.
Sometimes you don't want to sell them a pipe because they're just learning. But they're like, I like that pipe on the wall.
And I've noticed that pipe smokers, regular pipe smokers, I've had quite a few come in, well, I left my pipe at home. I didn't bring it on this trip. And if you're a pipe smoker and you walk up and you see one of those Savinellis or a Peterson, and you're like, all right, I'll take that one right there. No questions asked. If you're a pipe smoker, you know what you're looking for. And, the $150 to a couple $100 that you'll spend on a really nice top-end pipe, not a deal. Not a bad deal at all.
Yeah, it's like we know what we're doing when we pick pipes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's not us, it's Joe.
Yeah.
Joe picks the pipes. He does a great job. We put them on the wall, and they sell.
So make sure that's something for the new shop, the new location that's really picked up. I've noticed just from being here a while, the number of women is really increasing across the board, both enjoying smoking and also enjoying our good wine selection, our live music, and other events that we do. Have you noticed that too, Ethan, just by...
Yeah, it's interesting. The old place was a smokestack, right? And so we would have, a good mix of clientele anyway, but with a bigger building, better HVAC, higher ceiling, I think it's a more comfortable environment, especially women who don't smoke. They will come, they will stay. We've got comfortable chairs. It changes the dynamic a bit.
And that's obviously something that you were thinking, Bill, when you were looking at expanding. The old shop had its charm, and everyone mentions that when they come in. But it was time for an expansion and time for more resources so we can serve the customers a little bit better.
Well, when you have a shop that is on the inside is a box of smoke, that's what you're walking around in. But what you're standing on is a block of ice, which most people didn't understand.
No.
Underneath that floor is a big open cavern, a cistern, which used to funnel the Turkish bath back in the day. Mm-hmm. Well, that's still open. That still has water in it. And people didn't realize when we're freezing down there in the wintertime and a person comes in, lights a cigarette, has a half a cigarette, half a beer because the beer bottle's too cold to handle, they leave.
Exactly.
We're standing on a block of ice.
Yep.
And I can't tell you the number of times that people will recognize my face. They're out here for rally, some event, and they're like, "Man, don't you miss the old place?" And the standard line is, "What do you want me to miss about it, man?" That if you just came, I get the nostalgia,
Yep.
right? But if you have to work in there, no bathrooms, legitimately no heat, no cooling. I mean, can you remember last rally? It was always hotter inside than it was outside. It's horrible.
Yeah, it was disgusting.
Yeah.
So that's just a few of the charming improvements here at the new shop. Ton more space, bathrooms, heating, air conditioning, massive
Elbow room.
Yeah, massive beer and wine selection. I don't think people know enough about the wines that you have here at the shop, because it's not something that is typically, I think, thought of. Generally, we have a number of guys come in and they would like to have some sort of a whiskey or a bourbon with their cigar. Unfortunately, that's not an option for us at the current time. But we're pouring Stag's Leap Cab by the glass, which you probably can't even find outside of maybe one or two of the nicer restaurants in town. Nobody else is doing that around here.
No, that or Camus or even Justin, or we rotate a lot of the high-end wines so people can have an experience. It's not just, hey, let's have a 19 Crimes because it tastes good and it's got a lot of alcohol. Sometimes it's not about the alcohol, it's about the grape. And sometimes the grape with the tobacco works better if it's a Stag's Leap or a Camus than it would with a 19 Crimes, where the alcohol is going to be prevalent more and cut into the palate.
Yep, and the Amolo Merlot is another really nice addition to the wine list. So if you enjoy those, make sure you come on down and ask us about it. We'll be happy to show you around. And we have whites as well. We do Rombauer Chardonnay and a number of others that are fairly unique in our town, and we're happy to show those off. And
2 price points: low, skip the middle, and go to high.
Pretty much, yeah. And when people come up in the hey, I like a glass of Cab, and all right, well, do you want house or do you want Stag's Leap for 14? And if they're a wine person, they're like, well, give me that Stag's Leap.
Absolutely.
Well, so that's just another something that we've been experimenting.
And port.
Oh yeah, don't forget, we have a Tawny and a Ruby on now, which goes great, especially at the end of the evening. You're winding down, listening to our Thursday's live music brought to you by Shiner Beers, and get yourself a nice little port to go with your last stick of the day.
And honestly, if you think you can only smoke sweetened cigars, it's not true. If you get even a rough and tumble cigar and you have a glass of port, it adds a really nice sweet note to the end of it. You can handle it, man.
Brings a different dimension.
It does.
So those are just some of the things that we've learned over the last, it's been like 8 months now that we've been in the new shop, looking at all kinds of new and exciting events and improvements. We're working on upgrading the sound system for the bands. We're looking at interior things, just a little bit more atmosphere, a little more fun that we're having out there. Of course, we want to mention them just a little bit ago, Mr. Michael Maxwell with Shiner Beer, for sponsoring all of the live music for the entire year here at Deadwood Tobacco Company. Speaking of, we've got a big event coming up.
Yeah, but if you too want to be a sponsor, get a hold of Eye Candy Randy, and you can be a sponsor here at Deadwood Tobacco Company.
Absolutely. Taking all applications. What's that thing on the old used car ads? All applications accepted, not all approved.
That's true.
Yeah. We'd certainly be happy to visit with you about that. And we've got a fun weekend, as we normally do, in a couple weeks here with the Deadwood Jam in town. And if I'm not mistaken, I think we're in like the 32nd year. I better look that up just to get set for the Deadwood Jam. It's been going at 33rd, actually.
Wow.
And it's a little bit of everything out there. Now, this is a free concert. There is absolutely no charge for it. It is open container throughout the city, which means you can come here and buy your event cup or refill an event cup that you have at home and wander around and check out the music, and then come back over here and grab yourself a stick and relax. And this year, they're going to start it off with a little blues on Friday. This is September 15th. Tommy Castro and the Painkillers. And then, of course, we're going to go a little classic rock on you. Pure Prairie League and Atlanta Rhythm Section are Friday night, which is going to be a great, great show.
So blues and rock.
Blues and rock on Friday. Typically, there's some more in there as well.
What are we doing here on Friday night?
Well, on Friday night here, we are having the Pocket Junkies hosting. Now, the Pocket Junkies have played for us a couple of times already.
They're awesome.
They are a collection of super experienced musicians. Sivan, The sax player has done a number of years down in New Orleans playing with all of the greats. Johnny Hastings, one of the best guitar players in the Black Hills, is on guitar. Got a great drummer, and then they rotate through. They got bass player, and they'll do funky blues, jazzy stuff. And it's not, you say jazz, sometimes you can put people off. They think, oh, it's, the little corner snooze fest.
Not dinner jazz.
No. This is party funky jazz. And they'll be here both nights. And they will also be featuring members of the bands that are playing at Deadwood Jam after the jam is over, because that's over at 10 o'clock. They're going to come and party with us for the last couple of hours. Now, we'll still have our live music 8 to midnight. We're not cutting it short, but those last 2 hours are going to feature some of the people you see on the main stage, which will be really exciting to have them just having a huge party down at our joint.
Randy, is Britton back on drums?
I believe he is for this weekend. Yep.
Phenomenal.
So it's a collection of some of the best out there. And then on Saturday, it starts off early. That's Saturday the 16th. They kick it off with a local family band. They were on the stage earlier at Outlaw Square, the Rathco. Young kids, I think the oldest is 17, and they are just phenomenal. Just a great, great band. Then it goes into the Wandering Hearts, which I have to tell you, I have not heard of, but every time they bring somebody new, it's a new experience and fun to learn stuff out there. And then one of my favorites, Steven Wilson Jr., this guy is just amazing. He's been here for the Songwriters a couple of different times. He's had a couple of decent hits coming up. He was just featured on the TV show Billions. His song, I think it was...
Wait. I watched Billions. What do you mean he was featured on that?
His song was the closing scene. I'm going to get it wrong, but it was the one that just aired. So like season 4, episode 7. The song at the very, very end of that was his song. And he's had his songs in other things as well. And just a great, great guy.
I'm going to go back because I saved those, and I just finished watching Billions last night.
Yes, and I think the song is called "The Devil." I think is the one that was on there. So make sure you check him out. They don't have
that would make sense.
Yeah, from that show. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
With what's going on.
Yep. They don't have specific times listed for these, but the music does start at noon and it goes all day. And then after Steven Wilson Jr., and that's a full band, by the way. It's not just him solo.
Wait a minute. Where are they putting the jam at this year?
It's right next to us in the Outlaw Square. Literally 20 yards out our door.
Like at one point in time, they had it at the train station. Then they moved it to Main Street.
They did for 1 year. Yep.
So I remember on Main Street, it was pretty crowded. So how is this small venue of Outlaw Square going to be able to handle all those people?
I'm certain that there will be some street closures, I would think, so that the pedestrians can safely gather out there and enjoy.
Because they don't get to put chairs down then.
I don't know about the chairs for the jam. I cannot remember whether they do that or not. Like some of our big Main Street shows, Wild Bill Days, people can bring their own lawn chairs, set them in the street, watch the show.
I thought the jam was bigger than Outlaw Square.
It's going to be big this year, that's for sure. And
that's going to be a lot of people in a small little area.
Yep. So if that's not your thing, just come on over to Deadwood Tobacco and you can hang out with us.
No, they're. Do you know, Randy, how many tickets do go on sale for that?
It's a free show. Yep.
Free show, no tickets.
No tickets, absolutely free for anybody that wants to watch. It's going to be just a tremendous. It's kind of the close of the summer season. I know we're just past Labor Day, but weather, knock on wood, will be hopefully decent and be out there and enjoying. Then,
but do you have any idea, like maximum capacity for the square?
Oh, I'd say probably 2,500. And since it is an all-day festival, obviously people will come and go. They'll go get some dinner and some lunch and hang out and that type of thing. But it will be, it's going to be a great, great lineup. Then Diggin' Dirt follows Steven Wilson Jr. And then we're going to go into Yonder Mountain String Band. We're going to get a little bluegrassy on everybody over there, which is a lot of fun. Not my particular cup of tea, but man, is that a fun band.
Diggin' Dirt should be sponsored by Pile of Dirt.
Are you lining up sponsorships now from the beer companies?
That would just make sense, wouldn't it?
It would indeed. We'll put that.
We're Pile of Dirt sponsor. Oh, I just did it wrong.
And then they wrap it up Saturday night. Your headliner, Carl Denson's Tiny Universe. Now, this is just a great jam, blues, funk, all over the place. Huge band. If I remember right, last time I looked, I think it's like 9 or 10 members. Just going to be a tremendous, tremendous day. And make sure you swing by here, 715 Main Street, after those shows, because we'll be having live music until midnight. And hey, if we're having too much fun, we don't have to stop at midnight. We'll go until people stop partying.
Sounds great, because Miguel will be here.
That is true. Miguel with Crown Heads will be slinging the sticks, fill you in on all those great boutiques that are in the humidor. And then the beer side of it is going to be our buddy from up north. Not quite Canada.
But close enough.
Close enough, yes. Mike from Laughing Sun will be down here, and they have a number of new beers. He's always coming up with crazy new ideas, including some sours, which will go great in the warm weather. And then, of course, he does have his staples as well. He's got a nice red ale on there. He's got I Heart SD, which is his lager, and a bunch of other stuff. And he's just a fun guy. If you haven't had a chance to hang out with Mike, I recommend you come down here.
So he made a beer because he has a cabin here?
He is building a cabin. Yeah, I think he's got it livable for now. Just a few miles outside of town, and so he's going to be a we'll call him a half-time resident maybe eventually.
But still brewing in Bismarck, is that correct?
Correct. Yep. Yep. That's where it is. They're in Bismarck and all over North and South Dakota. And they are distributed locally, and we're happy to have him hang out. And he's just a loud, fun guy too. So you can't miss him if you come in here and you're like, oh, well, that's Mike. Yeah.
He's a guy you want to drink beer with,
and that's perfect for the brewer owner of a craft brewery. So that'll be our beer and cigar side and the music side of that. And then coming up, we're going to do a couple of fun podcasts. One I'm really excited about that Ethan can tell us a little bit more. Episode 36 coming up. We'll be featuring Miguel and Wild Bill, and hopefully a little drama as they talk about master blenders. Ethan, what's your idea on that one?
Man, it goes back to a thread. I was just interested in history of cigars, so on and so forth. And Miguel obviously is one of the most knowledgeable and articulate when it comes to anything historical, specifically about tobacco. So I think I started a thread asking, man, what are your top 5 picks of the greatest master blenders of all time? And he gave me his list. I had questions. I copied Bill on it, and then it was game on. And these guys were going back and forth, and well, I didn't know you meant, living only and not dead. And so the lineup is going to be this. We're going to talk about Jose Padron, Nestor Plasencia, E.P. Carrillo, Carlos Fuentes Sr., and Henke Kellner. And Miguel is going to give us a historical background on those companies, how they got their start, what qualifies a master blender, and then he's going to actually give us his pick for the number 1 spot, and he's got to defend said choice.
And then Bill, what's you guys, obviously this is something that involves personal taste. Do you typically agree on, like, let's just say it's like anything else, like, who's the top 10 basketball players of all time? Do you guys?
It's the conversation will not be interjected with personal taste. It's going to be based upon, well, first of all, the definition of a master blender. Mm-hmm. That has to be done, so that way the debate can go forward. And then from there, it's going to be, you're going to see a conversation. He'll throw in a dead person. I'll throw in a dead person. He'll throw in a live person. And we'll go back and forth. And you'll notice I'll defend a master blender, and I might not smoke his cigar.
Sure. Right.
But what is a master blender, right? Can you easily blend a cigar? Yeah, you can easily blend a cigar. Does it mean it's going to taste good? Absolutely not.
Right.
You can put sugar water all over the cigar and it'll taste good. Does that mean it's a cigar I'm going to smoke? No. Is a master blender somebody that created a new genre of cigars, right? Because if you're an old staple, just say like Padron. They never really create anything brand new for the industry, but what they do create is consistency. Mm-hmm. So you know every day what you're getting, and they make phenomenal sticks. So Miguel and I will go back and forth on that. And a lot of people want to put on the hat that I'm a master blender, right? That's what they want to say.
Sure.
Just because you blend a cigar does not make you a master blender.
Right. And then,
period.
So from what I'm understanding, then we're talking about people with decades of experience, family lineage in the cigar industry, most likely. But what I would also like to know is when we get to the next podcast is the names that you have mentioned have been doing it a long time. What about new?
That's
blenders?
going to come up.
Yep. Who's out there shaking things up?
One of the newest master blenders in the industry is Pepin Garcia. Mm-hmm. He's an old school, but he's one of the newer master blenders, even though he's older. So just because a cigar is relatively new, it might have an attached seasoned veteran that's been blending for other people. I mean, you got to look at that too, right? If you got a blender that is blending for other people, creating great sticks, and they got their own line that isn't as equivalent, will you discount him as a master blender? Or do you give him more accoutrements because he's master blending for multiple different companies?
That will be just kind of what you'll see for episode 36, our next one up here. Looking forward to Miguel joining us. He will be in the store for the Deadwood Jam weekend, the 15th and the 16th, so you can come pick his brain, talk about all of the wonderful lines that he reps, and he'll let you know what his favorite is as well, and you can have a discussion about the saltiness, right? That's what we're calling it?
That's what it is, yeah.
The saltiness. We're just going to set him up. We're going to have him mad at us before he even gets in the store.
I mean,
it's okay, Miguel.
It's really interesting on how people have different palates, and there's definitely some notes that there's a difference of opinion about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's all subjective. I mean, if you had a great breakfast with a bunch of flavor, fresh cut vegetables and fruit versus an omelet with a boxed egg and
some people love tomatoes, and if you put tomatoes in anything I eat, I'm going to give you a down vote, man.
Yeah, and sometimes you get your hash browns that are hockey pucks.
Sometimes you get hash browns that are dead and old because they kept them in the oil, and you go to bite it, and it's worse than a fucking Frito-Lay chip.
Not that anyone would ever have that happen to them. Well, I think this is kind of just a little short Get Us By podcast. We're happy that you have been joining us and listening in. Okay, wrapping up our summer season. We were super busy. We're coming into a little bit of a slower season, but don't worry. We're going to have plenty of events and other fun stuff going on here. Of course, we have live music every single Friday, Saturday, 8 until midnight. Our Thursday Shiner Music lineup is going to continue through the end of this month. So the 28th of September will be the last one of those for the season. So make sure you come and check that out. That's 7 until 10 on Thursdays.
Shiner beers are $3.
Yep, $3 on Thursday. $3 bottles. Make sure you come in. And generally, it's the kid working. So give him a hard time and drink some Shiner. Listen to some great local and regional musicians out there. And check out the entire lineup, deadwoodtobacco.com. Of course, all of our socials, Facebook, Instagram, you name it. And make sure, as the kid will soon let you know, like and subscribe. Get our numbers up there so we can sell advertising and make even more great cigars and beers and music for you here at Deadwood Tobacco Company.
And then give some really cool things away.
Yes, swag. And then that's something that at the shop, we always talk about our events and things like that are coming up. But the stuff that you, the team, and the reps that come in bring is amazing. They always have fun stuff. Of course, you're going to get free sticks. If you buy boxes when we're doing these events, you're going to get some free stuff. We've had everything from cutters, lighters, ashtrays, humidors, hats, shirts, you name it, all kinds of fun things just to go along with your cigar smoking lifestyle and experience. And I'm assuming it'll be no different with Miguel in a couple weeks.
True that.
All right. Ethan, anything else you want to add?
No, we've got big changes coming up with our podcast, hopefully. So I've always thought, man, there's so much more we could do with video, with film, audio, the editing part, lighting, getting a permanent space so that we can dial in some of the lighting issues, some of the sound issues, having a better studio. All I'm saying is we've got stuff in the works that I think are going to take what we have to the next level. And the big thing is, man, can you in this day and age where you're competing against corporations with millions of dollars and really high-paid talent, the thing that separates quality is, can you tell a compelling story? And so I think Deadwood Tobacco is a unique brand with a unique story and unique place, and I think we're just going to find better ways to tell that story and the lifestyle surrounding cigars and what we love.
So be looking forward to that coming up in just a couple of episodes. Don't worry, it's still going to be the same crazy characters. You're going to meet everybody from the shop, our entire team, all of our special guests. We'll have on musicians, we'll have on cigar reps and manufacturers, and we'll have just about a bunch of surprises down the road. Don't want to give everything away, but be looking out for that. But right now, that's it. Episode number 35 in the books. Thanks for coming out. Enjoy listening, viewing, and we will see you at Deadwood Jam or anytime you want to swing by the shop. Be looking for some new hours coming as we get into the fall season as well. Those will be on our website and our social media. And
one thing.
Yes.
We are going to be revamping the website probably towards the end of the fourth quarter.
And by revamping, you mean just a stylistic change, ease of ordering, things of that, right?
We're going to be just redoing it.
So that people can pop on there, find what they're looking for. And, we do ship. What did you say earlier today? Oh, yeah, we ship all around the world as long as it's in the continental United States.
Including Hawaii and Alaska.
Perfect. That'll do it for us. Ethan, Wild Bill, I am iCandy Randy. Thanks for listening, viewing. We will see you next time. That's it. Blowin Smoke Podcast.
Cheers. Go with yellow.